you guys? Welcome into the live stream. I'm Superior Shelby, your favorite 71% successful grant writer. I've been winning grants for over 10 years, millions of dollars in grants. Even this year in 2025, I've won over $460,000 in grants, okay? I have dedicated every day for the last 6 months talking about grant funding. Grants is free money that you don't have to pay back. There's no credit checks and no personal information needed. I get a lot of questions about how to win grants for your startup and small business. So in today's live stream, I'm going to teach you what a grant is, how to actually find grants. We're going to go over a $50,000 grant opportunity that you deserve. And I'm also going to leave some time at the end for any questions, okay? If you're watching this live stream afterwards, I want to say thank you so much for clicking on this video. That means you are looking for some non-dilutive funding to help you scale your business. You can always join us on our daily live streams, which is usually around 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time every day, except for Sundays. You know, Sundays is for the Lord. And you can also join the funding community, right? I have a full grant writing checklist that will give you a list of things that you need to have before you go for grants. Okay, so if you need some reassurance and you're asking yourself, well, what do I need to have before I go for this free money that you're talking about? Well, you can visit grantfully.org. And once you get there, put in your name and your email, and I will email you the actual checklist. Not only will you get the grant writing checklist, but you'll also be a part of the Grantfully funding community, where I offer free weekly webinars talking about business strategies, business development, things that you can do. And also, of course, I'm teaching you all about how to win grants. Okay. So welcome in, friend. Make sure you guys who are coming in, you like the live stream, so that way the YouTube algorithm can push out this good information, okay, to everyone else who wants to know about grants and stuff. So grants, let me just jump right into it. Don't forget, free grant writing checklist. Visit grantfully.org, grantfully.org, okay? So grants is free money that you can get. There's no credit checks, so you don't have to worry about any credit inquiries. There's no personal information needed, so you don't have to put your social security number or anything like that in there. And then also, you don't have to provide any business bank account statements or your personal bank account statements. Grant funding does not require all of that, right? So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that at all. There's a lot of grants out here, right? I do hear a lot of questions about, or I hear some myths. So I'm going to break down some myths. You probably heard about grants before and you're interested about going for grants, but you simply haven't went for them because you've been hearing all these myths, right? So let's just talk about them really quick. You don't have to have a nonprofit organization in order for you to receive a grant. Nonprofits go for so many different funding opportunities. They have fundraisers, they get donations, they do sponsorships, and then they also go for grant awards as well. So nonprofits, they have their own grants that they can go for. For small businesses, we actually have our own grants that we can go for as well to help us scale our businesses. Mind you, there's so many small business owners that don't make it over that 2-year mark or 5-year mark simply because they lack funding. So especially if you are a business that is already generating revenue or you have some sort of traction, right? Traction means that you can show what have you done so far since you gotten your company registered. If you already have some traction, then look, it's literally perfect for you. I get this question all the time. Shelby, do you have to be generating revenue in order for you to be able to have access to grant funding? All right. I get that question all the time. Do you have to be able to receive some grant? Do you have to already be generating revenue in order for you to receive a grant fund? I'm here to tell you no. Okay. However, there is a difference between being a startup and being in your idea phases. And I think that we don't talk a lot about that. So I'm just going to run through it really quick. Your idea phases is when you have not purchased your LLC. So you haven't gotten your company registered. You have not gotten an EIN number. You have not opened a business bank account. You have not gotten a website. Or you have gotten the EIN number, but you haven't gotten everything else. You're still in what's called the idea phases. You are not a startup until you actually start the company. Actually starting your company is you committing to your company, which is registering your company through the state, getting your LLC, S Corp or C Corp, right? Uh, getting your EIN number, opening up the business bank account, because the day you start banking is the day that your company becomes operational. So that's the operation date. And then getting your website, and then at least once you get your website and you purchase your domain, open up a free big like Google account, Google business account. So you haven't necessarily started your business until you have done the full business foundations. If this is your first time hearing about this, definitely drop it in the chat. And then also, I can tell you all the things you need to have, friend. Okay. The grant writing checklist is literally a list of things that you need to have just as a startup. Okay. So, no, you don't necessarily have to generate revenue. You can definitely get grant funding, but you got to show some traction. So, aside from you actually being a startup, right? You've got your LLC, all of the business foundation stuff, you've opened up a business bank account. What have you done since you have opened up your business? So, traction can be in surveys. Have you gotten any feedbacks from any free samples that you've given out or free services? Have you, have you gained a lot of responses, like, or have you gained like an email list, right? Those are things that you can show, or ways you can show traction without actually generating revenue. See, the funders want to know, what are you doing now to try to create awareness and to try to catch sales about your business and your mission? And what are you doing now to fulfill that mission, right? So it's very important that you know that all you need to do is show traction. You don't have to necessarily make revenue in order for you to get a grant opportunity. Okay. So now that you know that, now that you know that, and that's your reassurance that you need. All right. Before I move forward, I want to say hey to everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey, Cassie. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Dennis. Thanks so much for being here. Hey, Golden Formula Inc. I'm so happy that you guys are here. All right. So now that you know that, all right, you can get this free money. I don't know if y'all know this. Hey, City of Faith Worship Center. Hey, so happy to have you here. So happy. I think you've joined my live streams one time before. Blessing to have you here. So I want you guys to know this. There is 33 million registered United States small business owners. 33 million. 84% of the 33 million, 84%, that's a high percentage, leave over $90 billion on the table from grant funding every year. Can you imagine that? $90 billion just sitting there at the end of fourth quarter every year, simply because that 84%, out of that 84%, right, they might not know about grants. You don't have the time to submit grant applications, or it's a thing where you don't believe in grants, right? I get it. So I get these main myths all the time, right? Grants are like, it's a waste of time, right? Grants is a waste of time. You're not wasting your time when you're applying to grants, because sometimes it's a situation where you can apply to a grant opportunity, right? And then they will give you perks and deals and ad credits to help you market your business. So imagine applying to like a Google grant where they're going to give you $100,000. You might not win the grand prize, but they will still give you, let's say, $5,000 in Google ad credit, which will allow you to market your business through Google. So that means when somebody is saying hair salon near me, right, then through Google, then you should be like top 5 that comes up, because you're using your Google $5,000 ad credit. You get what I'm saying? So you didn't waste your time with applying to the grant, even though you didn't get the grand prize of 100K, but you still received a perk and deal, right? In addition to that, one of the perks could also be that you would be joining their funding community. And joining a funding community is going to allow you to be a part of that community, where you can have dibs, right? First dibs on grants that community is offering. In addition to that, you are a part of a funding community with like-minded individuals that potentially need your services. See, when you become an entrepreneur and you have a product and service, you're not selling the product and service. You're actually selling the solution. You're selling results. So whatever your business does, right? Whatever problem it solves, well, that's what you're selling. You're selling the solution. You get what I'm saying? Cool. So now that you know that, all right, grants, you are not wasting your time. It's super worth applying to. It allows you to have so many great incentives outside of the grand prize. Okay. And then sometimes, in some cases, when you are a part of those funding communities, right, they might actually only give out grants specifically towards the people who are joined in a part of that funding community. Okay. Cool. One place that does that is Hello Skip. Hello Skip gives out a $10,000 grant every month, but they only give out this $10,000 grant specifically to the people who are a part of the Hello Skip Pro account, which means you have to be a part of their funding community in a certain way. So you can't have access to that 10K. While they are a platform that you can use to find other grants that you can apply to, and you can apply to those grants directly through Hello Skip, but they still would like to cater to the people who are, you know, a part of their monthly subscription and things like that. Okay. So, right, that's like so worth it, because if you are, let's say, paying that $13 a month and you're a part of this funding company, well, like funding community, well, that actually helps you like literally have dibs. $10,000. That's really cool. Okay. Another one that I get as far as in grants is okay, so grants can I feel like grants pick and choose who they want to choose, right? So there is a like a personal thing, right? They have like a personal thing where they already know who they're going to choose. They're just so think about this. Why would the grant program waste their time and their money in collecting data, right? A grant program, right? In collecting data, um, just just uh, just to do it, right? And then because they already know who they're going to choose. Like it doesn't make sense. Even with me saying it, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense. Hold on, guys. Let me tell my mom I'm on live. It doesn't make sense at all. First of all, there are legal terms when you become a grant funding program. When you become a grant program, right? Like when you have a grant program, first of all, you have to register the grant. And then you like the grant program will not only be shut down, but they will be sued. Like it's a lot of steps that will happen to penalize that grant funding program if the state finds out that they are, just putting these grant programs out and they're choosing, they're being very like they already know who their winner is, right? They're cheating essentially. That's not how it works. Everybody has a fair chance. Everybody has a fair chance. And a lot of these grant programs that you're going for, they must be reputable companies, right? So you don't want to go for a grant program that it might be state funded and not even state funded. It might be something that like another small business owner wants to give out like a small micro grant, right? That could be $200, $500, up to $1,000 or $2,000. But being mindful that for me personally, I would be mindful of two things with those types of small micro grants, right? For number one, I don't even apply to micro grants. I don't. Every grant that I apply to is at least $10,000 or more because I want to have more perks and deals and incentives on the back end. A lot of the micro grants, when you apply to the micro grants that are 200, 500, 1,000, up to $2,000, when you apply to those micro grants, you notice that they either one have an application fee or two, they don't really come with much perks. You understand? You're not joining a funding community where they would actually have access to over 1,000 investors that you can speak to so you can go for VC. So places like I Fund Women, yes, I would apply to grants through I Fund Women. Yes, I would apply to grants through Afrotech. Yes, I would apply to grants through um, Black Ambition Prize because they're backed by some really good companies, Forbes, ABC, CNBC, right? Like you know what I mean? They're backed by like they're credible. So be mindful of that. Another thing is I think that a lot of the people who have like their own like myths, right, or that have their own like negative feeling about going for grants, I think what happens is In most cases, what happens is that that person has applied to grants, they never got proven like approved to one, and so they feel salty about it, and they feel like they've wasted their time. And I understand, but don't like put that negative energy on somebody else. You understand? Like that's not fair. That's not fair giving somebody else a fair chance or giving them the opportunity to actually like go for the grants themselves. And also you got to be mindful of how are you actually applying to grants. I'll never forget someone like, we had a consultation, right? And the guy was like, okay, hey Cassie. All right, so I'm going to answer your question in just a minute. Drop your questions in the chat if you have any questions so far. I'll never forget. Okay. So I'll never forget when I had a consultation with a guy and the guy was like, "Oh, I saw you talking about grants, but I applied to grants and I never got one. So I don't know. I just think grants is a scam." Right? So you literally paid like for a whole consultation just to tell me that you think grants are a scam. Okay, so I understand this conversation. You really want me to tell you why it's not. You really want me to tell you, right? What are you doing incorrect, right? What are you doing wrong that's not allowing you to win or see some sort of progress? There's so many different ways that you can communicate things, and I'm so blessed to have that, like, the opportunity to have to know different means of communication and to know how to read between the lines of what people are really saying, and to know like how people truly emotionally feel, because I understand that a lot of people cannot say directly how they're feeling. It is a challenge for people. Trust me, I know. I deal with that with family, and I even dealt with that myself, not knowing how to communicate my feelings. Not knowing how to communicate my feelings. Okay. So I was like, okay. I said, so let me ask you a few questions. After he had already insulted my business, told me I'm a scam and all this stuff, I said, let me ask you a few questions. Tell me, where do you find these grants? He said, hello, Skip. I said, okay, so do you use other like grant search engines like grantwatch.com and grants.gov? He was like, I know, I heard you talk about grantwatch.com, but no, I haven't used it. So what for number one? Okay, so what type of grants are you going for? So, whatever is there, whatever is available, and hello, Skip, I go for it. Well, how can you go for grants that whatever is available when not all of them are for you? And hello, Skip put some really great opportunities out there. But let me explain to you, you're limiting yourself. When you are applying to grants, it's a situation where the more the merrier. So I gave him the scratch off acronym. And for those of you who are just coming in, you don't know what that acronym, like what that example is. With grants, think about it like this, because there's no 100% guarantee that you will win it. But however, there is no opportunity on this earth that is 100% guarantee, friend. They could tell you can have good credit. All you need to have good credit, assets, this and that, and you'll be able to get approved for a loan. But one of my clients has absolute stellar credit. We're talking about 800. Your girl got a boat. She has a house. Her house is worth over $1.2 million. And I don't know if it's because she's a black woman or what, but she still didn't get 100,000. Not even, the bank wasn't even willing to give her 50,000. And she's been with that bank for over 20 years. She's 55 and older. So no, it's no 100% guarantee with any opportunity. So don't even put in your mind that there's a guarantee. That's not how life works. So I explained to him, I said, grants is like this. The guy that goes in the gas station that buys a scratch off every day, he has a higher chance at winning on one of those lotto tickets and scratch offs versus you who barely even buys them. That's simply because he's giving himself a chance every day at going for these opportunities. And it's the same mindset that you should have. So we need to understand exactly what are you going for these grants for. So I asked him, mind you, this is a person who paid for a consultation just to hop on Zoom, just to insult me and my business and what I do and call me a scam because he felt bad, because he felt like whatever I was teaching him through YouTube, he was doing it all. He wasn't doing what I told him to do. He wasn't. So I then said, okay, grantwatch.com, you need to use that platform because that platform has a lot more grants that you can go for, and you have to go through the grants and make sure that you qualify for them. So I explained to him how he needs to dive deeper into the grant and all this good stuff. At the end of the day, his mindset and his belief, right? His belief system, his comprehension skills would not allow him to actually comprehend what I was telling him. So I had to say it again, and I had to say it in a different way. I don't get aggravated. I understand different communication styles. So I understand. I'm very graceful in that area, seriously. So I'm just like, okay, show me a grant that you applied to. Let's go through. We on Zoom. Share your screen and show me a grant that you applied to. He couldn't. Because come to find out, he only applied to 2 grants the whole year. And then the 2 grants you applied to, one of them wasn't even for you. You just applied to it because it simply said it's for Black owned companies. But you are in a whole different industry that they were looking for. They were looking for somebody who's in like beauty or whatever, because like who has like a barber shop or something. So you didn't even read. So the problem here is reading comprehension skills. The problem here is comprehension skills in period in general, because you're not listening to what I said. But I understand if you actually truly want to give yourself a good chance at going for grants, then why not hire somebody like myself to go for it? But what you need to also comprehend and understand is there is nothing in this life that is 100% guaranteed. And as a certified United States grant writer of over 10 years, I cannot guarantee that I can win you a grant. So even if you do decide to hire me, just understand that you are hiring me for my creative writing skills. You are hiring me to save you the time. And you're also hiring me because I know how to go for grants that will increase your chances of winning, right? High probability grants. After I broke down everything to him, then he was quiet. Then it was like, okay, well, I understand. Mind you, this guy never came back, right? He didn't even have a business plan or a pitch deck. You guys know I stress that a lot. You need to have a business plan or a pitch deck before you go, and a pitch deck, sorry, before you go for grants. And even a 2-minute pitch video, right? You need that. So he didn't have those things. So how are you actually answering these questions? Like I have found that I started asking real probing questions. You paid $50 for this consultation. I'm not going to allow you to leave this conversation without knowing that you have to get back to the drawing board. You thought I was just this Black woman that's going to give you this all this sauce and all these plays and all that stuff. I don't do that type. I'm not a scammer. I'm not a finesser. I don't do stuff like that. I don't have a play for you. I don't have none of that stuff for you. It's all direct education that I'm going to give you. And you have to be receptive to it, and you have to be willing to go for it. But then I noticed, that person, he just wanted to get some free money and try to, fund his lifestyle or do whatever he has going on personally that's none of my business, right? That person, once I was asking those probing questions and he started to realize certain things, then he also realized that, okay, he felt convicted. And I think that possibly that conviction probably scared him away. I don't want to scare you away, but I do want you to realize that there is different ways, right? There's different ways that you can actually go for funding. And maybe it's the way that you've been doing, right? The way that you've also been taught is not working anymore. So we have to be open to doing other things. I wanted to share that story because I don't want to attract those people. I love y'all, but I don't want to attract someone who has a limited mindset. I'm attracting only those who truly are like, you have been affected by all of these jobs loss. You have a skill, you have a mission, you have compassion in doing something, right? You know how to do things outside of your 9 to 5, and you want to turn it into a business. You want to experience financial freedom, right? You want to create generational wealth. Those are the people that I'm actually reaching out to. Yesterday, I had a consultation with a lovely woman. A lovely woman. She has created a skincare brand for teenagers, specifically teenage girls. And she, like the whole mission is so freaking outstanding. And I can't wait to apply to grants for her. She found me through YouTube, right? Every time you search grants, you're like, I'm going to come up. And she also was a part of a funding community that I'm a part of too, Poker Power. So we had a conversation yesterday. She was like, I feel like it's a no-brainer. Why not like allow you to apply to grants for me? Right. So her company, she has not generated revenue at all. But her and her husband, they have put in a lot of money and a lot of thought into them building this company. So much so that they actually have a distribution center already. Mind you, I said she has not generated any profits. So what is the traction that she's been 2 years she's been building this business? 2 years. She's been funding her own company, her and her husband. 2 years. She's been very intentional about the packaging. She's been intentional about, the skincare product itself. She's been intentional about her message. She is very intentional every step of the way. And that's what I love the most about her. She was able to clearly explain to me exactly what her company is, right? And what the entire mission is. It's more than just a skincare line. It's also a mission to have young girls, right? To live free, to feel free, to speak freely, right? To allow them to, they don't have to wear makeup, just be free. This skincare product is going to allow you to, have control over your hypertension, hyperpigmentation and acne. So you don't have to feel like you got to wear makeup every day. You can literally live free. Yeah. 2 years she's been building and been intentional with her branding and her message and getting surveys and getting collecting emails and sending out emails to people. And what she's been doing for the last 2 years, she built her email list, got a distribution company, right? Took some money out of her, or probably who knows where she got the money from. She either, we don't know, right? But she's her and her husband that's building it, and they believe in this vision so much that they have built it now in her distribution center, right? She just so happens to be in the perfect location because it's like literally a hotel on top, like right up on top of her building. So even if she wanted to partner up with the hotel is right there. She's in like a downtown area, I think. She's very intentional about what she does. I'm super excited and stoked about applying to grants for her because I know, while I can't guarantee that she will win, I strongly believe, I have strong faith that I'll be able to give this woman some good money. And she was honest with me on the conversation yesterday. She was like, Shelby, I know about grants, I understand them, but I don't have the expertise that you do, and I don't have time. So I want to hire you. Mind you, she has her stuff so well together, right? That she has already her like spreadsheets of her expenses and all of this stuff. Very intentional. Mind you, this is 2 years of her building this company. She has not generated revenue. The product line actually drops in December. You'll hear me talk about it because I did ask her, like, hey, I love supporting each other, like especially women-owned companies. So, let me be like one of your ambassadors, right? And I truly believe in her company. I'm like right behind her. Like I'm right behind her. I feel like I'm a part of the executive team. I would love to freaking invest in that because I know she gonna make some money. Okay. So I'm just like, I like having that conversation with her yesterday. And we had our conversation, you and I, we was here on YouTube yesterday. And like, I'm like, okay. Like we just talked about this earlier, me and the gang, like on YouTube. Like we were talking about, do you have to generate revenue? No. She has traction. Her traction is like literally, we started the company from our basement. This is our mission. Now we move from the basement. We got an actual distribution center. We're very intentional about packaging. We've been speaking to these people out in Switzerland, and they've been sending us like she can literally show receipts for this stuff. That's traction. And she hasn't generated revenue, but she's putting in the effort. You are not a startup if you did not at least get the LLC, EIN, business bank account, and website. I asked her, I said, do you have a pitch video? I said, do you have a business plan, a pitch deck, and a pitch video? She said, yeah. She don't really know how to apply to grants, but she was going for investment capital. And she said, you know what? The reason why I'm not going for investment capital right now, because I feel like they want so much, so like a big percentage of my company, but they want to give me a little bit of money. And I don't want to go through that. And I said, I understand beauty. Yeah. They like to do that to beauty brands a lot. They wouldn't dare do it to a tech company. Can't play with them like that. Can't play with a tech company like that. I'm over here on the SaaS tech side. Can't play with us like that on this side of the investment field. You already know this technology, it costs money to make money for sure. So I was like, okay, yeah, I totally get it. So she's like, I already had these things prepared. So she's sending me her business plan, sending me her pitch deck, which looks stellar. And I told her, I gave her some pointers. I said, well, if you don't already have a pitch video, right? She was like, she has something, but what I explained to her, what she needs to have inside of her pitch video, she was just like, okay, I don't have that. But I do need to have that because I can use that type of video that you're talking about and actually put it on the website. What? Girl, you right. You're right, friend. You're right. Thank you for making me feel good too. Like, you know what I mean? And like the conversation was so good. Mind you, while this doesn't matter, right? Remember when I told y'all a while ago that sometimes by me being a Black woman owned company, I don't get the opportunity. I feel like I don't get the opportunity to help other races, like other ethnic groups, religions, um, and gender types, right? Enough. She's a white woman. Doesn't matter. But I wanted to bring that up, right? Well, I love her so much. So I wanted to bring that up because for this last week, a lot of people who have been signing up for my services are different ethnic groups. Look at God. God heard my cry. And I literally said it directly on it. I actually have a short video where I said what my experience is. I really do believe that those people was like, you know what? Like, I I don't want you to feel that way because what you're doing is absolutely amazing and I actually needed your help. Yeah, they're trusting me. And I love that so much. So I'm already a person of diligence, but I'm really, really like going hard to go home. Like I'm even more like amped up. I'm more motivated because I want to help everybody and I don't want to feel like I'm in a box with only while I love my people, of course. You know, fried chicken, collard greens. We go back like four flats. You know what I mean? We go back like four flats. While I love my people, it's like, dang, like my service is for everybody. And I don't want it to be a thing because I'm Christian and I'm not like Muslim or I'm not Jewish that I don't get a chance to help you guys out. Like, no, that's that's not that's not me as a person, right? And that's not my company mission. My entire mission is to help everybody across the world, no matter what race, gender, ethnic group, religion, or sexuality you are a part of. If you want debt-free, non-dilutive funding with no strings attached, and you have heard about grants before, but you simply need help applying to them, or you want to learn how to apply yourself, then I'm the perfect person to have that conversation with. I'm so blessed to say that this week God has really shown me, girl, don't even like you're worthy. You are worthy. I needed that. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something. God always come through. Whoo! God be shining his glory through me. I love it. I love it. Shine your glory, Lord. This is like really awesome. So yeah, we was talking about that stuff. I'm sorry, I was talking for a little minute. Cassie says I have a question. I have a DBA. I have a EIN bank account. I still need to buy. I don't know what you're saying. You still need to buy what? Okay, I still need to buy from a Clean Tech, a franchise. Could you give me some more thoughts on what I need to do? I need a business plan. Cassie, I don't even understand what you put in the chat. I'm confused. Why do you have a DBA? Why do y'all do that? Who's telling y'all to do that? I don't know who's telling y'all. I don't know if it's your CPA or whatever, but please understand that a DBA is an acronym for doing business as, which AKA means a fictitious name, which means AKA in the simplest way I can put it, nickname. Why are you paying and registering for your business to have a nickname when you don't have a registered business to have a nickname for? Your a business, an actual registered business is having a registration through the state. If you think, oh, I'm going to get this DBA, I'm going to get this DBA because it's cheaper than getting an LLC. You're working backwards. I'm not putting pressure on you, but I want you to understand that if you think that having the DBA, you should have the DBA first. And then when you start generating revenue, then you're going to get the LLC. No, you're actually working backwards and it's actually hurting you. How did you get a business bank account? Like, I'm confused. So you have to have like, because if you got a DBA, that means you have to have register your company with the state, have like an LLC or something, right? That's what I'm hoping you do have. If anytime you get a DBA is when you are trying to like have like a nickname or short name for your company. So like for those of you who don't know, this YouTube channel is called Superior Solutions, right? The full business name, if you like actually like Google it, is Superior Business Development Solutions. Superior Business Development Solutions. Superior Solutions is the DBA name. It's the small name. It's the nickname for it. Get it? So that way people don't have to say the whole thing. It just sounds better when you say Superior Solutions or Superior Shelby. The double S's that you guys see on my and all that stuff. Right? So yeah, I don't know who's telling y'all to do that, but that's like really backwards. You should have your LLC, business bank account, EIN, a website. You didn't put that you have a website. You need to have a website, and your business plan and pitch deck. Okay. Okay. Good friend. Some of you all are allowing, I think you're overthinking the website thing. So I'm going to help you work through that. You don't have to overthink it. Okay. Your website doesn't have to look like Nike.com. It doesn't have to look like Twitch. It doesn't have to look like Amazon. You understand? Your website can be a one pager that has literally your mission, your company vision, what's the problem, how you solve it, and a contact form. And with artificial intelligence consistently on a rise at a rapid pace right now, GoDaddy.com and Wix.com, Wix.com, they have automatic generated templates that you can use. And all you have to do is enter in your information. It's really not hard at all. Hold on, guys. I gotta let my brother in. So don't let that website thing stop you from being great for me. Afternoon or morning. Oh, okay. So any questions about what I said? You need to have a website. That's a part of literally your business foundations and all that stuff. Okay, friend? GoDaddy.com. The link is in the description. All that good stuff. Okay, GoDaddy.com. Links in the description, which is my referral link, or you can use Wix, whichever. I like GoDaddy. It's easy. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Hello, Skip, as well, of course. Hey, Jay Brittany. Thanks for being here. Jennifer Pedroso. It takes time, for sure. Amen. Yes. And we need to learn when to pivot. When I first heard of grants, I was told to use ChatGPT to answer the question. Miss Shelby has taught me otherwise. Yeah. Yeah, we're actually going to have a webinar next week talking more about how to use AI to help you, submit grant opportunities. But I'm not teaching you how, like, I'm not going to tell you to copy the question, put it in ChatGPT and get the answer, and copy the answer and put it back into the application. That is something that you absolutely don't want to do, because it's an AI generated answer. So I'm going to teach you how to use AI, right, to help you with answering the questions and comprehending the questions. Yesterday, we talked about how you can use AI to help you comprehend the question, right? So you can ask ChatGPT, like, I'm applying to this particular grant. The name of the grant is this. My business does this. They are asking me this question. Put a colon, copy and paste the question there, and then at the end of the question, you put the comma. At the end of the question mark, you'll put a comma, right? It's correct grammar, and you will say, I need help comprehending this question. What are they looking for me? How are they looking for me to answer it? Right? So you can use ChatGPT to help you comprehend. the questions on the grant application to help you with spelling and grammar, right? But you are not going to use a full AI generated answer. That is a big no no. You wanna know why I'm telling you this? I've been on the other side. You think I haven't been on the other side of this grant thing? I've been a judge. Like they will email me and say, "Hey, we have this new grant program. We saw that you're a grant writer. We would love for you to be a volunteer on our judging catalog." So y'all don't even know. Sometimes on the back end, I'm just like throwing the application away, uploading it on Zero GPT. Oh, 78%, 90%, they use AI, throwing it out the window. I'm telling you, don't do it. Give yourself a winning chance. Nobody wants to hear the AI generated or the robot tell your story. We want to know your story. Tell me that how you went through 2020 and it was like the most economic detrimental time to your business, but how you was able to persevere through that economic challenge, and how you have still been able to gain more traction and all that stuff. Tell me that. I want to know, like, that makes sense. Um, no, okay. The corporate veil. Absolutely. We should be able to help others all around. We all talked it up. Yes. Hey, Carla. Thanks for being here. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of my main things. I always want to help everybody, no matter where you're from. Right. And that's why I travel the world and talk about grants. Right. So, yeah. You know what I noticed? Just really quick, there are different areas for different things, right? So I can go to the UK and have a whole full like grant class or whatever, like a free one, and then like they would really eat it up, like they would love it because it's the UK. It's no different from like the US. You know what I mean? It's literally the same thing, right? So I can go. So, but if I go to Dubai and talk about grants, they're like, Habibi, we're rich. We're rich. You come out better bringing us companies that we can invest into because we don't need this. We're rich. You know what I mean? So it's different areas, different places where, I would do this. I would speak about grants and stuff and just help other people, right? With me living in Africa, like Africa is definitely a place where like I'm very mindful. Like I don't with my consultations and stuff like that. I don't really even take consultations in especially in person and by living in Africa. What I do is I would do like like virtual online, or I would do like in-person classes, right? So a friend of mine, she owns a like a cafe like restaurant thing, and she does like these monthly startup like conversations and stuff, and she has like a lot of people like actors, actresses, um persons of government, business owners that have like really great businesses in like in Nigeria and stuff. um you know and so she would like have these conversations, and so I told her when I get back that I'll do one talking about grants and stuff. But grants is a really great conversation that these people want to have because the entire room is full of startups and it's full of business owners, right? So yeah, you know helping people all around is what I'm about. She said, sorry. Okay, understand, did not know that no LLC yet, and Claim Tech is a medical billing service. Okay, asking for info. What is a pitch deck? Okay, so Claim Tech is a medical billing service. Oh, okay, like medical billing and coding. Okay, yeah, my mom has like a license in that, so that's really cool. And so when you're getting into the medical field, you got to have an LLC, right? Because technically you're not a registered company and you definitely want to put your best foot forward, like I said before. So you don't want to get into a medical, like you don't want to start doing all of these things just for them to tell them, well, you got to go back to the drawing board and you got to do this and you got to get this and you got to do that. Because what happens is that you have missed so many steps, right? Along your pathway that now you have to go back and do it again. I don't know if you've ever heard this by growing up, but my grandma used to always say, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. Yes. So that is this situation. Okay. So making sure that you have things already in place. So when it comes time for you to be able to claim victory on certain things, you don't have to go back and do it all over again. Okay. So yes, you need to have your LLC, EIN, business bank account. You already have those two, and then a business plan and a pitch deck. So a pitch deck is pretty much a PowerPoint version of your business plan. Let me see if I can bring one up really quick. I'll just kind of show you really quick. I'm going to show it to you really quick. All right, so it's like a PowerPoint. Okay. It's like a PowerPoint version of your business plan. Okay. And then it goes over like your mission, what's the problem, how does your company solve the problem, what's your product and service, what's your entire business model. So, are you business to customer or business to business, right? What is your business model? What is your industry overview? So, how much money can you make in this industry? What's going to make you different? Marketing activities. So, how are you going to market your business? You need to have that in here. um, all of this good stuff, right? This is a pitch deck, a little bit of information and some contact information. You need to have a pitch deck like that, all right? When you are going for real money, like real money, they're going to look at your pitch deck. Okay. Those are the things that they're going to be looking at. They're going to look at your pitch deck. They're going to say, all right, well, you can send us your business plan, but what they really want is the pitch deck. Another thing is that you need to have is a pitch video. So a pitch video is 2 minutes of you literally saying, hey, my name is Shelby. I am founder of grantfully.org, which is the world's leading smart grant search engine where you can track everything through your dashboard, and you'll be able to get somebody to apply to grants for you for just $30 per application. The problem we solve is that we help startups and small business owners and all company organizations, including nonprofits, have access to grant funding in the most comprehensible way, and we offer the most affordable grant writing in the planet. Okay. um 80, and then you give some statistics about your market, right? 33 million US small business owners, 84% don't go for grant funding, and that means it's $90 billion left on the table. What Grantfully does is they help small business owners stop googling grants and actually apply to them. Most of our clients need help saving time with searching for these grants and applying to them, and they're looking for an affordable service so that way they can continue to scale. We also offer a funding community where they can join together, collaborate together, as well as network their own products and services amongst each other. And we have weekly webinars providing small business development resources and tips that will help them continue to scale. That's a pitch video. So that's me like recording myself saying that, having some B-roll in it, showing, maybe showing my team on a consultation or whatever, like showing that we're actually doing this. And what you do with this pitch video, it should be like 2 to 3 minutes. You can use this pitch video to put on your website. When you are starting a business, I want you guys to actually start to look for examples of who you want to be like. I think that we really do skip that step in our idea phases. And no, I'm not talking about idolizing somebody like Serena Williams. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying take a company, look at a company and see what do they do with their branding? A company like Colgate, the toothpaste people. You understand? If you are in a specific beauty industry, take a look at how they're branding themselves. Take a look at their website. Take a look at all of that. What that does is that reassures you on like the business model, the workflow that you need to be following through. If you are doing hair, right, or you're laying wigs, take a look at like someone who's like really high up in the industry. And no, I'm not talking about like an Instagram celebrity. Like, Cliff Vermeer is really good, right? As we're seeing Cliff Vermeer really scale, right? But I'm talking about somebody bigger. Crazy thing is, I would probably look at somebody like Vivica Fox, because how in the world did you create this hair in these wigs? You are in every freaking hair store and across the nation. And how did you stand for this long? Because you've definitely been doing this over 10 years. What does your website look like? What is your business model? How did you get into doing this? Like, how did you get into every hair store across America? Right? You understand what I'm saying? I would do something like that. I would look at those type of businesses and look at their websites, and then I would like, take a little bit from them and then like do my own thing, be creative in my own way because you still have to be different, right? Because you being different is you being innovative. So that's what I would do. Okay, friend. I think that we skip that step a lot. And it's like, oh, I want to start a business. Like, look at other, and you are in, what's so crazy, Cassie? You are in a company, like you are doing medical billing. Look at all of the other medical billing and coding companies, like the big boys. You know what I mean? Look at their business model. Look at how they market themselves. Look at their logo and branding. Look at how many, like in their locations that if they have physical locations, how clean is it? What does it look like? So don't idolize it. Don't, just get inspired and motivated. And then be mindful of, okay, these people, their logo, it doesn't have glitter. It doesn't have bubble letters. Okay, cool. They kept it real clean, real aesthetic, real sleek, very minimalistic. Cool. Okay, what systems do they use? ChatGPT it. You can say, this medical billing and coding company, I like them very much. I want you to tell me, what are the systems that they use? I want you to tell me, what is their business model? I want you to tell me, what is their overall mission? You can even go on that company's website and they will tell you what their mission is. Okay? Get inspired and motivated by someone who is an industry leader. An industry leader. Okay? You're in the industry of medical billing and coding. So who's the industry leader? See what they're doing. Because clearly it works. They ain't just finessed the system and became multi-billionaires overnight. No. There's a formula that they had to go by that helped them get to reach the top. So what is that formula? You need to crack the code. Okay. Chuyar says, so Skip is a ripoff? No, it's not. It's a good website. Hey Nicholas, welcome in. Okay, you guys have any questions? Hey, how are you? Black Slora. Any questions about what I said? Those some gems I dropped. Some gems I dropped. Yesterday we went over the Gusto 50K opportunity. I want to go over it again for those of you who was not with us yesterday. So I'll go over that in a minute. Just want to make sure that you guys have all of the questions. G Money says, can Nigerians have access to the grant, my lady? Yes, absolutely. There's international grants out here. Yep. Make sure your English is very, very good. Abi. Abi, make sure your English is on top because you need to be able to comprehend what's going on in those accelerated programs. Okay. Okay, thanks for the information. You're so welcome. I'm not Nigerian, if you was wondering. My husband is. And I live in Nigeria. I'm just here home in Florida, just, holidays, enjoying myself and doing some conversations with some folks, marketing myself. All right, y'all, let's go over this 50K. And then I'm going to let y'all go trick-or-treating. Then I'm going to let y'all go trick-or-treating. Today is Halloween. Such a fun time for children. I remember when I was a kid. We would go trick-or-treating and stuff. I remember those days. Now I'm an adult. I don't have children of my own yet, but I have nieces and nephews, and I'm super excited to like spend my time with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably go outside, go to downtown Tampa, get some content, get some really good coffee, relax, and create some really good videos for you guys, get you guys motivated, and then yeah, and later on tonight or this evening, as the sun is going down, we're going to go trick or treating with the kids. Me, my brother, my cousins, my sister. So I'm really excited about that. You know, I love spending time with my family, especially since I don't live here in the U.S. anymore. Like I have to, like when I'm here, I'm trying to spend as much time with them as possible. So that's that. Um, we're not going to be out too late, right? Because you know you have to stay safe. Something I'm very adamant about is like I'm checking every piece of candy before they put it in the bag. Um, Actually, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to have my own bag, right? Where I'm like, okay, you know, I don't know, like the kid will have a bag, they'll have their own bag, and then I'll have one, and I'll just be checking the candy. Then I'll put the candy and just evenly distribute it out to the kids. And so as we're walking around, I'm just going to tell them to put it in my bag first before we, because we're going to be checking this candy. You know, so much goes on. So much goes on. Like it's a lot going on here. Are you going to be in Orlando? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I know that I'm going to be in Atlanta. I just don't know the date yet, but I'm going to be there really soon. I actually have to do something at the Nigerian consulate. So I was like, okay, well, I might as well just kind of like, I don't know, do something in Atlanta too. I don't know if anybody in here is from Atlanta, but um, I know I'll be in Atlanta. Right now, I'm in Tampa. And then, yeah, and then I'll be back home in Miami too. So, what this weekend, what I planned on doing is just kind of like dropping some dates of where I'm going to be and just like doing like this free coffee thing where like we just meet at like this coffee shop. Um, or we can meet at a location and I just like kind of cater coffee. And we just have like a coffee conversation, you know, like a coffee break, let's say, let's call it that, like Shelby's coffee break. And so we're just all like having our own conversation. And I'm just like able to answer any questions regarding like business development questions, grants, and stuff like that. Right. So that was like something I had in mind. I don't know. What do you guys think about that idea? City of Faith Worship Center. How can we get a one-on-one? Yeah, so the link is in the description. I'll put the link to book a grant call with me. It's $50. Super worth it. It's 45 minutes. I tell you everything you need to know. I'll put the link in the chat here for you so you can go directly there and book a consultation. Okay. So it's superchargemybusiness.com. All right. You can visit superchargemybusiness.com. Scroll down, book a grant call, and it's there for you. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about the coffee break? Let me know if y'all think it's a go. So I'm having Oh, don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow is the free webinar at 3 p.m. Saturday, right? Tomorrow we're having a free webinar. And it's at 3 p.m. And I'm literally giving you my frameworks on how to answer the grant questions. So you can always join in. If you want to join in, visit grantfully.org, download the free grant writing checklist, and make sure you check your email, not only for the checklist, but also for the link to join on Saturday. It's 3 p.m. It's free, right? So this is what you get when you're a part of the Grantfully funding community. And also, what else is it? So I'm gonna bring the whole coffee break idea to everyone tomorrow. What do you guys think? Maybe let me. Okay, I can put a poll in here. Thank you. I can put a poll on here and see if this is something you guys will like. Would you like a coffee break thing? Okay. Would you like a coffee break? Um, let's say gathering about grants in your city. All right, so I just put the poll up. Let me know. I just put the poll up. I just want to know because the coffee break thing, right? Since I'll just go to different cities. So I'm going to be in Atlanta. Right now I'm in Tampa. So I'll probably most likely start one here in Tampa. So I'll probably do it like the middle of next week or I don't know, something like that. But maybe like in a later evening, like after 4, you know what I mean? Um, and then go to Atlanta, have the coffee break grant session in Atlanta, then do it in Orlando, then do it in Miami. Yeah. If that's something you guys are interested in, cool. We can do it. I mean, it's free, right? You'll just have to pay for your coffee. That's it. But the gathering, like coming together, is free, right? So yeah. And what's really cool is, I think I know someone. I have someone in my database. They actually have coffee. They're a Black woman-owned company where they sell coffee. So I asked them if they want to sponsor the event. I think they're based in Atlanta, yeah, or Texas or something. I don't know. I forgot. Good idea. Brittany says it's a good idea. Everybody's saying yeah. The post is like, yeah, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. Pittsburgh, okay, Pittsburgh. I don't have enough people coming out of Pittsburgh. Most of my people are like that physically see me or like physically want to see me are from the South. Yeah, or from the South. Like here in Florida, in Georgia, um, Texas for sure. Texas for sure. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send out an email with some dates. We're gonna have a coffee break. That's so fun. I like to see y'all in person. I have some like I did like the last in person thing I did where we were like gathered together and stuff like that. I got some responses. You guys can check those out on my website on superchargemybusiness.com. And the people are like, she's legit. Like she's legit. I love her energy, just being around her. And it's such a blessing to, hear people say such great things about you. When I'm literally here not for the praise. I just want to make sure you understand like the proper steps you need to take before you leave. So yeah, we're gonna do the coffee break thing. Okay, so would you consider coming to West Palm Beach area? So it would be Fort Lauderdale. So Fort Lauderdale is where I would have the coffee break situation because it's like in the middle. It's not too far from West Palm, depending on like if you're on like Atlantic. What's that like? If you're not too far up, Wellington, past like around that, like if you're not too far up, I get it. I don't know how deep you are in West Palm Beach, but if you Fort Lauderdale would be like that downtown Fort Lauderdale, most likely, or probably like in that area, right? We would probably gather there. Um, so yeah, instead of being all the way deep in Miami, right? So I would do that. Riding everywhere where? Like over there?
No, like St. Pete.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay. I'll ask my dad if he can stop by and take me to cross over there.
Before you go though, just price them. You know what I mean? Just look around before you make a move.
Okay. So yeah, I'll look on. Yeah.
How we looked at those samples and we turned around and seen them other samples. Yeah. Bigger and cheaper.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know it's a spot on the west on Main Street. They got crab. I know when last time I was there, they were like $40 a dozen for the jumbo. That's the blue crabs. I didn't, so.
Where is this?
On Main Street. Crab spot, right? We passed right by it the other day.
What is look? I don't remember. It's over like
right by Barbecue King. It's a market. Right on Main Street. You got to do them with Google Fish Market on Main Street.
Okay.
And they prices and everything now. If Quay can give you the name of where she go, you can Google that. And you can check out their prices. I just want you to shop around before we just make a move.
Okay, I get you.
So, all right.
All right, I'll call you back with what I put together. Okay, bye. That was my uncle. I love my family so much. My uncle called and said, well, if you feel like getting some crabs, and we can make some crabs, some crab spaghetti. We call it crab shalal here in Tampa. Crab shalal. And we can get these crabs. Black folks like to get some seafood. We like to all put money together. Like we put our money together and make us a good seafood boil. So, okay, that's what we were talking about. That's all I was like, okay, let's just let y'all hear it. Love him so much. Okay, so Wellington and Royal Palm areas where we are. Okay, yeah. So I would do Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is where I would be. All right, so in the poll, so majority of y'all said yes, you are down for the coffee break. All right, so I'm going to send out a email to everybody with some dates. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what works. I feel like Fridays and Saturdays is kind of what works better for people. But also I noticed that people have time during like the beginning of the week too. So I don't know. I gotta check that. But we can do like a coffee break. You guys can show up, free information. I teach you what you need to know. You ask questions in person. And we have coffee together and I just hear what you got going on, right? And find a way that I can also help too. Okay, cool. All right, so 50K, let's go over it really quick. Went over it yesterday, but I want us to go over it again. And then I'm gonna let you guys go. Cool. Okay. We went over this grant yesterday, but if you weren't here yesterday, then this is good for you, okay? First of all, let me clean the back of this thing. Sorry. Okay, so Gusto is giving out 50K, all right, to small business owners, all right? It's called the Gusto Impact Awards. 5 regional winners take home 50,000, so you get 40,000 in local advertising. So they are going to do a billboard for you, literally, and so much different advertisements for you. You get $10,000 cash, and then you get a free payroll service for a year, which is really cool. And then even if you don't win the grand prize of 50K, they will still give you a $500 gift card, to 150. To 30 small businesses. 30 small businesses to each region will also receive $500. Okay, so 30 small businesses, let's say from north, from the south, from the east, and from the west. Okay. These are the past winners. We talked about how some people feel like, okay, grants are not real, they're a scam. Well, you can always reassure yourself by taking a look at the winners and seeing what their entire grant traction is. So this is what that is, grant traction. Here's the application itself. You put in your first, last name, business email address, phone number, company name, the number of employees, the business type, right? So are you like, finance, food and beverage, whatever the case may be. Put in your business street address or your business address itself, city, state, and zip code, your business website, social media handles. So don't put the at, just go directly to, like, let's say Instagram.com / whatever your business Instagram handle name is. And you're going to copy that from the address bar, right? And then you would paste it here. And then they want in 300 words or fewer, tell us your small business story. What they're asking here, tell us your small business story, is explain to them how did you get started? What is your traction, right? So you can say, we started our business because the founder went through a challenge with, I don't know, let's say the founder went through a challenge with plumbing in his own house. When he started to find creative ways to help, with plumbing in a house that he bought that was supposed to be a fix and flip, then for eventually he got certified as a plumber and decided to start his own plumbing company and offer an affordable care plumbing service, not only for housing development companies, but also for our main target would be seniors or persons with disability who are having plumbing issues, and we want to be affordable for them, and we want to give them a safe service, right? So, and it says how will winning impact your business? So, with the example I gave, let's say winning this $50,000 grant opportunity will allow us to not only have advertising opportunity, but it will give us the means. So it'll give us the money to invest into our supplies and equipment, which will allow us to produce more or provide more of a quality service, which would solve the problems for our customers. And they would actually tell more people about us, allowing us to fulfill our mission, which is helping as many people with plumbing issues who are persons with disabilities, or a person who or a person who is a senior, right? So I'm just giving an example, just throwing it out there, okay? And then that's it, and then you submit it, okay? So much more information that you have that you can do. If you have a business plan, then it's not hard for you to answer these questions. So that's why I say you need to have a business plan and a pitch deck first. So make sure you have everything you need. All right. Visit grantfully.org so that way you can have the list of all the things that you need to have before you go for grants. And also you'll be a part of the Grantfully funding community, where we have weekly webinars and teaching you some small business development tips and grant writing tips. And also you can get ready for the virtual launch of Grantfully, which is the grant search engine that you'll be able to find grants using smart filters. You can track everything through your client dashboard, and also you'll be able to hire somebody to submit a grant for you for just $30. All right. So an affordable done for you service as well. Okay. So yeah, any questions before I let you guys go? I know it's like Halloween day. You guys are like gonna get prepared and stuff. Any questions before I let you go? It's been such a pleasure to have you guys with me. Okay. This is awesome. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. Everybody's good. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. Happy Halloween. Enjoy your trick or treat day. And I'll see you back here tomorrow, same time tomorrow, 9 a.m. All right, 9 a.m. Eastern time. All right. Peace and blessings. And don't eat too much candy. All right.